everyone, this is Kassie, and these are the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of April 11th to April 17th. Since I'm getting many requests for personal tarot readings, I invite you to join me on my psychic platform www.kassiekai.com, where you can also get 3 free minutes with your subscription. Our deck for today is the Old English Tarot, one of my favorite decks and one of the first ones I got, and I still use it a lot as I enjoy its simple and straightforward symbolism. If you want to check out last week's energies, you can always click on the link above. I'm very grateful for your likes and your comments. Let me know how your week went, the energies of the cards manifested for you. But let's see what's in store for this week. For Aries, we had the Wheel of Fortune and now the Two of Cups. It appears that there is an emotional connection, that the Wheel of Fortune you got last week seems to keep in a cycle, on again, off again, so there is a situation that's fluctuating and has a cyclical dynamic, like making up and breaking up, and that could feel like an emotional roller coaster. Having said that, there must be a strong fated undertone to this situation, so perhaps you feel that someone is your soulmate or something is meant to be. However, you don't have to endure or tolerate things and behaviors that make you feel bad in the name of fate. The Two of Cups shows that although there are ups and downs, the feelings of someone for you are positive, romantic and sexual, and they feel that there is chemistry and compatibility and that you are a good match. So despite those fluctuations, you can have an emotionally fulfilling relationship with this person, as the Two of Cups is a card of union and connection. If you want to know how something will progress, the Two of Cups gives the message of positive developments, stronger connection and emotional growth. There will be a meeting that will make you feel really good, and you will find that you are finally on the same wavelength with another, and that you have the same plans, needs and expectations, and the same vision for the future. So that's a very beneficial energy to use and make plans for the future on how to take the next step in a relationship. The Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer. You will feel very intuitive, almost psychic this week, especially when it comes to other people's feelings. You will have strong intuitive impressions, significant dreams that can be symbolic or even prophetic, and you will find that you are connecting with someone on a very deep level telepathically, so don't be surprised if while you're thinking about someone, you suddenly get a text or a phone call from that person. If you're dealing with a problem that you haven't yet found the answer to, this week you can tap into the collective subconscious through meditation or dreams and get guidance and spiritual messages. We had a new moon in your sign a few weeks ago, so you can check how to tap into its energy by clicking on the link above. For Taurus, we had the Temperance and now the Five of Swords. The Temperance you had last week is about taking things slow and steady, about blending and combining different energies to create things that work for you. But the Five of Swords usually points to conflicts, and it's possible that whatever path you are taking at the moment will draw you into a conflict inevitably, so maybe stirring the waters a bit is much needed at this stage, because there seems to be something that's worth fighting for. The Five of Swords often shows a conflict between what the heart says and what the head says, so if you are wondering how someone feels, there is an inner struggle they're dealing with, and part of them tells them to go ahead with it, but then there's another voice that tells them to hold back. And that may generate a feeling of defeat, as the name of this card indicates. Also, with the Five of Swords, there are often trust issues that have not been resolved, so perhaps one of you lied to the other, and there's still this lingering mistrust that makes it difficult for things to move forward. And since there's a high risk of disagreements and arguments, thoughts and feelings may be sharp and unkind, as neither one feels at this stage that their relationship is balanced or equal. So if you're feeling that someone is resisting and keeping distance, you may want to give it a few days and let those energies calm down before you try to connect with this person again. Astrologically, the Five of Swords is Venus in Aquarius, and this energy is giving you the chance to explore a different kind of connection with someone, which will be less physical or sexual and more intellectual. That means it will be easier now to have a meeting of the minds, especially if you are willing to consider the way they see things. With the Five of Swords, there's always a possibility of mind games because we do have Venus here that wants love, but Aquarius wants independence. So there will probably be a challenge to make those two energies work harmoniously together. But if you manage to do that, you can have a very special connection. An argument that happened between 20 and 29 January may require your attention again this week, and you will probably be asked to decide whether you want to try and resolve things or you want to end things with someone for good. For Gemini, we had the Hanged Man and now the King of Wands. With the Hanged Man last week, perhaps you found yourself in a limbo, feeling that things are strange, and maybe you felt that you were seeing things very differently from what's considered normal or different to everyone else, and that must have caused some talks or interactions that felt out of alignment, as your way of thinking was not in tune with the way of thinking of another person. This week, energies are changing because from the very slow and passive Hanged Man, you switch to the very fast and active Knight of Wands. So expect that you will be on the go, you will have a lot to accomplish, and developments will run fast and non-stop. So be prepared for a series of events that will trigger changes, and this will be an adventurous and eventful week that will bring some surprises and again a change of perspective. Meaning that something will happen and the way you see things will change again, and you will feel more inspired, more spontaneous too. If you are wondering how someone feels, there will be an unexpected expression of attraction or interest as their feelings are strong, warm and positive, and they want to take action to do something to show that to you. The energy of the Hanged Man that's still around you will make you feel very intuitive though, so you will be able to easily understand the intentions of someone, so don't underestimate or overlook your intuition this week. Something that started between 13 November and 12 December will come to a head now, or if something was stuck, you may now notice that things will start moving forward swiftly and some unexpected elements may arise that will change the dynamics of a situation. A Sagittarius Sun or Ascendant may play a significant role this week, and whatever starts this week will continue to develop in the coming 15 days. This week you may feel a little restless, or you will feel that you have too much energy, excess energy, and a good way to channel this energy is by taking physical action, by working out for instance. For Cancer, we had the Chariot and now the Four of Cups. With the Chariot last week, perhaps you had to deal with a situation that appeared to be black and white, but in reality it was not. It's just that the situation wasn't quite simple, in the sense that you were asked to choose a direction and you were not ready to. And with the Four of Cups that you got this week, you will probably decide to stay in the gray areas for a while, until you feel confident enough to make a decision. So energies this week will be slow and passive, developments will slow down, or you will put a break in a situation in order to take a breather and assess the situation in a more relaxed space. If you are wondering how someone feels, they find some sort of comfort in your connections, some sort of stability. However, excitement seems to be missing, and you may want to spice things up a bit. It appears that this person is very much affected by their moods, and at times they feel discontent, tired or apathetic. That's why you should not be surprised if you find them to be completely unresponsive at times. Please know that's nothing to do with you, it's primarily their own issues and negative feelings that make them act in this way. The Four of Cups astrologically is the Moon in Cancer, a very sensitive placement, as the Moon is at home in Cancer, which means that the changes and shifts the moon represents as it passes through its different phases need to be respected and accepted, meaning there will be fluctuations when it comes to emotions, and situations will shift and change all the time. So instead of taking action, have a time out, reflect on what is going on, relax, meditate, and reject those things that do not serve you anymore. Thursday seems to hold a special energy this week, especially when it comes to talks about feelings and relationships in general. If you are wondering how a situation will progress, the Four of Cups indicates that for 3 to 4 weeks there won't be a big change, but after that you will start noticing some serious shifts. For Leo, we had the Seven of Pentacles and now the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Pentacles you had last week indicates that you've made efforts to grow something in your life, which seems to be growing slowly, and the energy of the Seven of Swords this week could show that someone is trying to take advantage of your efforts one way or another, and in order to deal with this person, an unusual or unconventional approach is needed. The Seven of Swords is often about those things that we cannot see, either because others are hiding things from us or because we are in denial. But thinking outside the box in this case can bring unexpectedly positive results, creating the right conditions for things to develop. The Seven of Swords could be speaking to a need to creatively use our mind where relationships, career, or money are concerned. One such creative use is deceit, hence the reputation of this card as deceit, but there are many other creative uses too. If you want to know how someone feels about you, there seem to be trust issues, and perhaps they are thinking that you are hiding something from them, or you feel that they are being cryptic about something that's going on in their life. Under this energy, feelings are usually masked or concealed, and that's not necessarily because they don't trust you, although that could be the case, as I said before. It could very well be that they don't trust themselves when it comes to how they feel. So perhaps they are still in the information gathering stage, or they are trying to overcome an obstacle that they have in their mind about you. Astrologically, the Seven of Swords is the moon in Aquarius, and that's a rather detached placement for the moon, so you will probably feel more logical and less emotional this week. You also may decide to participate in a group or an organization involving the greater good, and you may also have a very unusual meeting with someone who's eccentric or unconventional in one way or another. The end of the week, around Saturday or Sunday, holds the greatest energy now, while you may be able to better understand something that happened between 9 and 18 February, or something will be revealed about events that took place in that time. For Virgo, we had the Queen of Wands and now the Five of Cups. This week things are slowing down. You got the Queen of Wands last week, and that's a high energy card, so a lot was going on last week and you had a lot to do, but the slow and passive Five of Cups foretells that things are slowing down, and you may have a feeling that something is lost or something is missing, which can easily cause negative thoughts and emotions, especially if you are constantly thinking about the worst possible scenarios. You want more from something or someone, but you can't get it at the moment, either because timing isn't right or because there is a clash of interest or expectations and needs. It's easy now to fall into the trap and think that there's only one option for you, one path you can follow, but if you really look honestly and with an open mind, you will see that other paths are available. Admittedly, not all of them to your liking, but try to remember that nothing is ever a dead end. Something that happened between 12 October and 1st November may somehow be disrupted now, as fives usually disrupt the balance that fours indicate, and usually that's because there's a need for a different approach, a need for change, or for a different mindset that will allow you to produce different results. The Five of Cups is Mars in Scorpio, which means that this week the heat in your sexual life is rising and you will feel very sexual, sensual and seductive. But Mars in Scorpio is not just about sex, It's also about uncovering secrets and hidden intentions. You will be able to see through others, to see through their intentions, and to make sense of things that were confusing before. If you are wondering how someone feels, they are having regrets for something they've done to you or for something they said to you and they feel they shouldn't. I don't think that you will get an apology though, as their feelings seem to be fluctuating and there are ups and downs, and also because they seem to find certain aspects of your connections disappointing, so at the moment things are out of balance. However, around Friday you will get the chance to talk and fix things, so try to focus on what is working in your connection and on what could actually bring you closer. For Libra, we had the Page of Swords and now the King of Cups. After the 2 pages you had in the previous weeks, now you got the King of Cups, and one of the things that this combination shows is that the situation is getting more mature, more stable or structured. Perhaps you had to gather information last week to see how something can be done or to figure something out. This week with the King of Cups, things are getting more emotional. You will filter things through emotions and heart wins this week. You will probably notice the same in others, especially if you are dealing with the water sign or ascendant male, Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces, who will be more open emotionally now. He will share more, he will open up a bit, and you will be able to have a better and more stable emotional connection with him. Since Cups court cards are often helpers, you may find help when you least expect it in a matter that's troubling you, and that could be related to a personal relationship or it could be a professional situation that will require your attention. If it's professional, expect that you will have a strong ally, someone who is in a position of authority, and they will be willing to help and support you in something that you had no support before. If you are wondering how someone feels, the King of Cups indicates that their feelings are deep, they are in love with you, and they want to know if their feelings are reciprocated. So perhaps they are waiting for a move or some sort of confirmation from you that will show them you are interested. Since the King of Cups is rather slow and passive, things this week will move slowly, and although kings do show the completion of a stage, the King of Cups does show some delays. That's why the end of the week seems to be strong energetically, and there will be a situation that will build up slowly, so give things time to unfold. Trust your intuition, Cups are cards of intuition, trust your heart, and take a deep look at your emotions. This is a good week to try and figure out why you are feeling a certain way and get in touch with your deeper feelings, and that's something that will allow you to make better choices too. For Scorpio, we had the 3 of Wands and now the World. This week, things are coming to a head, Scorpio. You've been through some difficult energies in the previous weeks. There must have been stress, negativity around you, yet you managed to pull yourself up and to take action in a way that must have helped you manifest some positive results, and it appears that the final scene will be played this week, as the World is a card of completion and usually it shows a successful completion. So expect that your efforts will bear fruits and you will get something you want that could be either related to personal or professional relationships, or there will be a closure that will liberate you and will open up many possibilities for you. The World's message is that life has infinite options for us to explore, only if we remain open and willing to try new things, to think outside the box, and to get out of our comfort zone. If you are wondering how someone feels about you, it appears that they have experienced a mixture of different feelings and they've gone as far as they can or want to go in their relationship where feelings are concerned, which means that if you want more than they offer, the dynamics or your connection needs to change first so that you can make room for progress in different directions. Since both the 3 of Wands and the World are associated with foreign countries, perhaps you are in a long-distance relationship and you are planning to travel to your partner, and that will be a good thing, especially if you faced some ups and downs lately. It seems that the journey has been long and complex, but now you know where you're heading. The World is associated with Saturn, and Saturn is a teacher. it comes to us with lessons we need to learn in order to graduate to the next level. So if there are things repeating in your life or running in a loop, and you want to experience something different, the message here is that only you can make those changes that will allow you to experience a different and more positive situation. Think of what life is trying to teach you, and if things aren't working, try to do things differently. Connect with your own world, with what makes you feel comfortable at home, and try to find the tendency to do everything perfect, as that will probably cause delays and maybe another repeat which isn't what you want. For Sagittarius, we had the King of Wands and now the Seven of Cups. There must have been fast developments last week. The King of Wands is a card of action and high energy, but that's changing now. The Seven of Cups shows that you or someone around you has too many responsibilities or too many things to do, and energy is scattered, not focused enough. That's why it's possible that this week you will feel a little confused when it comes to someone's actions, or you may act in a confusing way. And perhaps there will be unrealistic expectations, wishes, or desires, so try to remain grounded, to try to see things as they really are. Under the energy of this seven, there's a tendency to daydream, to see things through rose-tinted glasses, but keep in mind that you have many choices at your disposal. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they don't really know how they feel about you. At times it takes some time for someone to realize they like a person, or for feelings to get clear, especially if a situation is complicated. For example, if you like a friend of yours, or the person you like is with someone else. With the Seven of Cups, their feelings have not yet matured and they cannot make up their minds, and perhaps you too don't understand what you feel drawn to, so you need to give this time for things to clear up a bit, especially if there are other people interfering. If you want to know how something will progress, new options and opportunities will arise, so don't make decisions yet, explore all your options and pick the one that feels best. Reflect on those options presented to you and see how you feel about them. Your feelings will now be your compass, but keep in mind that options give you power, and that's why you will feel strong and determined. Make a note for Sunday, as it appears to hold a special energy, while something that happened between 13 and 22 November will now bring new possibilities and will open new doors for you. The Seven of Cups is Venus in Scorpio, so there will be great intensity in sexual and romantic matters. There will probably be a sex and magnetic encounter that will heal and/or transform a romantic relationship. For Capricorn, we had the Five of Swords and now the Two of Swords. The Five of Swords you got last week is a rather difficult energy, and perhaps a mistreatment was done to you, or someone else acted in a way that was not decent or moral, and there must have been a disruption or an argument. With the Two of Swords this week, you are coming to a truce or a compromise decision that will not last for too long, but will hold for a while. At the moment, you are probably dealing with an issue that can't move for one reason or another, as the conflict or difficulty you experienced last week cannot be fully resolved yet, and movement is blocked for now. And you may have to agree to disagree with someone in order to maintain a balance. At the same time, you will probably be of two minds, as you have two options to choose from, but you don't really know which one of the two is the best. If you want to know how someone feels about you, there's indecisiveness, and that's perhaps because they are being in denial about whatever is happening, and they are refusing to deal with their feelings. They haven't made a decision about the future of your connection, and although feelings are there, they are probably trying to use reason or rationality instead of going purely with how they feel. The Two of Swords is the moon in Gemini, a placement that will make you feel the need for change. Especially if things have been stuck and stagnant for too long, this week you will take action and to try new things, or you will try to do things differently, which is good because you can stir the energies in a way that can bring new experiences and new people into your life. Tuesday seems to be an important day this week, while things that started between 23 September to 2 October may now come to a head, or you can come to an agreement that could be a contract, for instance, a professional deal, or an agreement that has to do with a personal relationship that has been rocky lately. The Two of Swords is a card of balance, and one way or another, that's what you are going to achieve this week. For Aquarius, we had the Ten of Pentacles and now the Sun. With the Ten of Pentacles last week, perhaps you've been dealing with issues that had to do with property, family matters, commitment issues, or things that have to do with safety and security. The Sun this week means that things will be clear, and if there have been dark and confusing energies around the situation, now things will get clear and you will feel more optimistic, seeing that something is going to be resolved soon, or something that didn't make any sense before, now it's clear and logical. Also this week you may have someone around you who acts in a selfish or stubborn way, probably a fire sign, a Leo sun or ascendant, and that's because they are overconfident, they think they can control a situation, and they intend to remain in control, and their environment, people around them, seem to reinforce that image. So it will be rather difficult to make them change their mind about something as they are convinced they are right. If you want to know how someone feels about you, the Sun gives the message that they feel happy to be with you, they have positive feelings, and they enjoy spending time together. Since the Sun foretells good times and positive vibes, expect there will be a meeting that will be very positive, a meeting where friendly or sexual energies will be intense depending on who it is that you meet. Someone who was closed off before will now get more open and more generous too, and generosity is a strong element of this card as the Sun gives generously life to Earth, and that makes it a good week if you have something to ask from someone, like a favor or even a loan. Sunday seems to be an interesting day for this week, so make a note for that day, while something that started a year ago may be completed this week, or something you are going to start this week, like a project for instance, will take a year to manifest or to be completed. The number 19 is important with this card, so perhaps something very significant will happen on the 19th of this month. For Pisces, we had the King of Cups and now the Two of Wands. There's a decision you'll have to make about something or someone this week, and that's probably related to the King of Cups you had last week, a male who's a water sign or ascendant, and perhaps you are romantically related to that person, as the King of Cups is a love card, but it could be a professional situation too. With the Two of Wands, it's possible that you will want more from something or from someone, and you will have to decide in which direction you want to put your energy into. And unlike the other twos that usually show waiting or a pause, this is one's energy and it's speed and action, so you won't be willing to wait, and there might be some impatience or some restlessness too. If you are wondering about the feelings of someone, the Two of Wands means that they feel okay with where they are now and with how things are, but deep down they long for more, so there is a sense of dissatisfaction with what is going on. Attraction is strong though, wands are passionate energy, sexual energy, chemistry, that seems to be reciprocal, but there are pros and cons. That means there are limitations in a certain relationship or a certain situation. You do have some similar but different needs and drives, so at times you work at cross purposes, at times as a team, so there's this fluctuation that's causing a fluctuation in feelings too. Astrologically, the Two of Wands is Mars in Aries, and that means you will feel very determined to do things your way, and you may find it difficult to consider another's needs or expectations, but maybe another will act in the same way too, and there's a risk of disagreements. But once a decision is made, all this high energy, all this tension will be resolved and fast developments will follow. Tuesday seems to be an important day this week, and events that happen between the 21st March and the 30th March may require a decision now in order to start moving in a particular direction. So these were the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of April 11 to April 17. I hope you enjoyed them, and I will see you next week. Have a very nice and productive week.